Live. Well, you guys have done.
There
We're
it is.
live.
There it is.
Or as live as we're gonna get, right?
I mean, I'm tinkering a little bit. I'm tired today.
You're on the line.
I'm on the line.
I'm
Cindy's-
alive. I'm alive.
I hear you. Tiger, how are you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. And of course, as soon as we go live, the mud comes for pets.
Oh,
That's
Say
the
hi.
reality. Everybody loves a good dog shot. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yes.
Well, who did we have first? Oh, well, it was StreamYard technically, you guys, but it was Linda Varnum. Hello, Linda from
Linda.
Hi,
Michigan.
Linda.
Nah.
Mitten
Linda,
high
in
five.
the holy land of Michigan.
Joanne is with us, and hello, Helen.
Hi,
Joanne,
Helen.
Helen, wait,
and Linda.
Helen picked
Oh,
strawberries. Helen, did you make jam? Because Helen makes everything. Did you guys know that?
Uh-huh.
No, she makes. I bet you she made this mouse.
she might have.
She did not make the dog, though.
She might. Hello to Bree. We've got Vagabond.
Arizona's in the house.
Jet, what? Uh-oh, there's Sarah Lee. Everybody better watch out.
Hi, Sarah Lee.
We've got Sarah and Judy and Holly. Oh my goodness. We've got a lot. And
Hi,
Kim
Holly.
to be me. Uh-oh. There's
That's
trouble.
Hi, Randy.
there. She is, Randy girl.
Watch out, y'all. Watch out. Uh-oh.
Randy.
Boy, we're in for uh-oh.
Roberta.
I hope everybody's sitting down and buckled up. We got them both in here. Lucia, how are you tonight?
Hi,
We
Shadia.
got
The
Chrissy.
prettiest name on YouTube.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. Well, welcome to Vintage Rescue Squad. Hello, Pat.
Patty
All right. Hi,
girl.
Carrie. Hi, Jan. Becca. Okay. Okay. We could do it all night.
We can do it all night.
It's like you feel bad for stopping because you're like, oh, wait, there's someone, and there's someone. You always feel horrible. But hello to everybody, and thank you for being with us tonight, this Monday night, on another episode of Vintage Rescue Squad. You guys, tonight, Misty and I are super excited to bring with us this evening Cindy J's Timeless Treasures, and of course, Tiger's Timeless Treasures.
My
It's
right
Timeless
hand
Treasures. Dude,
We're all timeless treasures today.
It's Timeless Treasures. Yay.
Timeless Treasure Day.
Yep.
It is Timeless Treasure Day, no doubt. So you guys, we're really excited. I know that you guys, Tiger, you have started doing YouTube live sales. Cindy, you've popped up once. You've been live once on Amy's channel, Amy's Rock and Pop. So
Yes.
this is only Cindy's second time live. Boy,
Yeah. Cindy,
boy.
I'm going to be reaching out to you because I'm getting my 2020 book out, and I'm going to start being filling in some slots. So you'll have to let me know if you want to do a sale. No pressure.
No pressure while we're live.
No pressure. It's pressure.
Because I know you've got good stuff. We could do an ephemera sale,
Ooh,
but we don't like
There
to
you
sell
go.
ephemera because we like to keep all of our ephemeras.
that's true.
Mhm.
True.
Well, Chrissy, the flowers technically have been replaced. So those are 3 weeks old.
Oh.
So those were replaced a little bit ago, but they're still, I mean, they're doing well. They're doing
Like,
well.
are those still alive? They've been alive
I
a
can
long
never keep
time.
mums. How do you
I
keep
think-
mums alive inside? I can never keep them alive
Oh.
anywhere.
I can't even,
Well-
I don't even bother buying them anymore.
Yeah.
I have
They're
dead
not-
ones on my porch.
Yeah.
They're not like the regular mum, though. They're a different kind of mum because they have a bigger flower on them. They're almost like a, what do you call them? Like a little daisy or a black-eyed Susan, something like that, but they're
Yeah.
also a mum. I don't know. It's some weird crossbreed.
I
So I
still
think
have
that's
the
why
flowers from summer that are just barely hanging on my
Mm.
porch.
There you go.
Did you get them locally, Michael? Did you get them?
Yeah, giant.
Oh.
I get yes, my flowers. I always go to Giant. It's a grocery store, and get my flowers. They have really good florals there. So that's right. Cindy has wonderful items in her shop.
Yes, she
So
does.
you guys, let's just go ahead and do a quick speed round. Do keep in mind to make it easy for everybody. Tiger does have a YouTube channel, which is linked down below in the description. Tiger also is on Instagram, which is also linked down below in the description. Now, Cindy is currently only on Instagram. However, that is linked in the description, as is her Etsy shop is linked in the description. And of course, so is Misty's. Misty's Instagram and
Well, I
YouTube.
don't sell on Etsy, but
Your YouTube and Instagram.
oh yeah.
You didn't know?
No.
I found an Etsy link for it.
Well, I used to sell on Etsy, but I don't. I don't.
Okay.
I can barely sell on eBay.
I hear that. I hear that. All right, Cindy, do you want to start us off and say hello and introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi. I'm Cindy J, Timeless Treasure 77. I have an antique booth at Rest and Shine in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. It's called Timeless Treasures. It's on the second floor. I have a lot of vintage and antique items there and a lot of Christmas right now. And I'm getting ready to take more Christmas because our shop is having Thanksgiving night from 7 to midnight.
Wow.
Open, yeah. And I think they're having prizes and snacks and things. So I'm going tomorrow and Wednesday to restock. So there'll be some more vintage things in there. I also have an Etsy store called Sweet Old Treasures. And that's linked in my Instagram account, which is Timeless Treasures 77.
Well, thank you very much. It's awesome to hear that the store is actually hosting an event.
That's great. Well,
Yeah.
and Small Business Saturday is this weekend. So, I mean, that's all those festivities. There's probably a lot of antique malls and stuff that are having events because of Small Business
We had
Saturday.
our open house I think it was the 13th of November, if that was a Saturday, I'm not sure. That was a huge success. That was
good.
really busy. And because really my mall doesn't get a lot of foot traffic. It's not downtown. It's in another section of Williamsport. And so it doesn't get a lot of foot traffic, but it's doing well.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about if your mall isn't in a lot of foot traffic, ways that you can advertise that won't cost you any money.
Free.
Free.
Tiger, you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Hi, everybody. I'm Tiger. I do have a YouTube channel. I do have Instagram, as Michael already mentioned. Thank you very much for that. And yeah, I actually don't currently have a booth, but I did have a booth and I did have a couple of showcases at 2 different malls. But then when I went to Europe for 6 weeks, I had to give that up for now. Of course, my timing, I do that right before the holidays. So now that the holiday traffic set in, I don't have a booth and I missed the sign up for the antique market that they have once a month too. But next year, I'm going to change that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to time that differently. Yeah. But in the meantime, I've been actually pretty busy with the YouTube sales, and I've been lucky to have a few real regular customers who buy a lot from me, and then I have a lot of customers who still buy something from me. And those of you who have not bought anything from me, I'm sure you'll eventually check me out, and maybe you'll find something really cool.
Yeah, he's got a lot of things. He's got a lot of neat
things. In the meantime, I'm just having fun because, that's what you do. You do it for the fun. You can't do it for the money, really.
And he's such a lovely person. Just love our Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
Miss, would you like to introduce yourself?
Me?
You.
Oh,
who are you? What do you do?
I'm Misty, and I sell antiques and vintage on the internet. That's what I do.
Technology.
Internet. Yeah, I do. I sell things on the internet.
Mm-hmm. And of course, I'm Michael, The.Cult.Of.Vintage, and I also sell stuff on the internet, specifically YouTube Live. So, well, and I think this is, and as always, guys, we do encourage you guys down in the chat. You are probably more important, I think, a lot of times than we are, because you guys have a lot of questions. So don't hesitate to. And as always, if you do have a question, please just go ahead and put it in caps. It will make it a lot easier for us to kind of see that, and then we can highlight it up here. And we'll try to get to as many questions as possible. Obviously, if we're on a roll, questions can roll by and we miss it.
Exciting because Michael and I can both highlight the thumbs stuff. If I see one or he sees one, so now there's two eyes. But if you are, we're talking about things, please talk to one another in the chat as well.
Yes.
We're just up here on the screen, but you guys we're all hanging out together. So if we don't answer something and somebody else has an answer, please, please, please talk amongst yourselves in the chat as well.
All right, guys. So I think one thing that we were talking about before we went live, and Cindy had just talked about it, was having a booth or a case, that you were a vendor at an antique mall or a vendor or a co-op, whatever it is that you choose to call it or they call it. And I think that that's one thing that there's a lot of people that are out in the community that are active in the chats. And we don't really get to talk about that a whole lot. And I think that there's a lot of struggles that individual businesses have within those. And there's a lot of really good things too. But as Misty was saying, one thing that's really easy is to utilize the internet and to allow it to kind of be like your advertising, because it is free at the end of the day. And Cindy has been really good. You are always taking pictures of your booths, of the displays, of them changing up. And I guess, what made, and Tiger, I think that you can answer this though too, even though you don't currently have one, because obviously you had to go away. But what was it that led you guys to wanting to have a booth in an antique mall?
Cindy?
I had wanted to for years, and when I was teaching, I didn't think I could do that. I didn't think that it would be profitable for me, with the amount of time I would have to spend sourcing and, staging and all of that. And so when I retired, then for a couple of years, I didn't even really think about it. And then my mom had passed away, and I inherited a lot of things, and those things I did want to keep, but I had other things that I had bought through the years at antique malls that I just didn't mean as much to me anymore. And I was like, I really need to get rid of some of these things. What can I do? And then I started watching YouTube videos. I started watching Jocelyn, and I started watching Misty, which led me to Michael and all of you. And then I was like, I could do this. I could, have an antique booth. And it just so happened I went to Rust and Shine one day, and they had an opening. I immediately said, I'll take it. My husband was with me, and he was like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this. We're going to do this. And
that's great. You just decided, like you just were like, okay.
Yeah, I did. Because I knew if I went home and thought about it, I'd probably think of all the reasons why I shouldn't do it.
Right.
And, I just didn't want to go through that, because I do that in my mind enough with everything else. So I was just like, I'm just doing this. I can try it. If it's not successful, that's fine. I've tried it. And so, yeah.
Yeah. And so sometimes it's hard to even get a booth. It's hard to find availability. So the fact that they had an opening, was really good.
She actually had 2 or 3 openings that day, and I could have taken a bigger booth, but I thought, no, I really should start small. And I like my smaller booth. I'm probably going to keep the smaller one. I just really like it. It's just the right amount of space for me.
Yeah.
There you go.
So my husband had built bookcases that we had in our rec room downstairs, and we took one of those for the back wall, and then he built some other pieces for me. We went to Usmart and bought a couple of tables, and just then started filling everything in. And it's been a year in September.
Okay.
It was a year in September, but yeah, we had our booth. Yeah.
And your pictures and stuff on Instagram are always so they're your vignettes and your displays are always so nice. And it's
I
kind
love
of
doing that.
fun.
I
Yeah, it's
just
kind
love
of fun to
doing
do
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun to, and it's like you sometimes when you set up things in your antique booth, you can play around with it because it isn't something that you would necessarily put up in your house, but you can kind
Right.
of you can play with different medias, I guess.
Right.
And it makes it a lot of fun,
Yes.
I think.
Well, I think
Yeah.
that's really, you know what, though, that's a really fun thing. And I've been thinking about it, and I need to, because, God knows I have so much time anymore. But it's like there's certain things, especially like the kitsch stuff, the anthropomorphic stuff or the pixies. There's just certain things that are very whimsical and they're very fun. And they're taking those objects maybe out of their normal setting and placing them into odd settings or putting
Right.
together vignettes and
It's so
having
fun.
fun with our vintage, with our antiques, and letting it be like expressive and just kind of, I don't know, it's like adult playtime. You know what I mean? Like these are now our toys. Why are we're just setting them on a shelf and staring at them? Why not have a little fun? And even if it's putting together like a vignette, Ooh, worried about theft. Yeah, that's a
Have
good
you,
one.
Tiger, have you and Cindy had to deal with any of that you are aware of at least?
No, luckily I never did. What does happen or what did happen at my mall, one of them was that people grab something and change their mind and they put it down at a completely different booth.
Yeah.
And then you think it's stolen and eventually someone figures it out because, I mean, nobody really knows except the booth owner. I've had issues where I found stuff at my booth that was not mine. I took it to the employees and I took care of it. But it's really, I mean, the whole thing with the booth is it's just a waiting game because you gotta learn your customers and you gotta learn the mall, and it's hard. I'm looking at hopefully getting another booth again next year, but I don't know about you guys, but here in Arizona, those things are expensive.
Yeah,
You
that's
pay
what the
huge rent, and
question.
then you pay the commission, and then you pay the credit card fees, and by the time you're done, it's
Yeah,
just yeah, yeah,
that's what
it is
Joanne.
it is a risk. It can be a glorified storage unit if you don't
Yeah,
do it right. At
you're
the same
right.
time, to just go down there at least once a week or maybe twice a week, and just to rearrange things or change things out. That's fun, and it's not as bad as having a whole store. I
Yeah,
mean, if I had to pay for a whole store for a lease and for utilities and all that, then I'd rather pay for the booth. That's the way I look at it.
yeah. And a lot of, I mean, you hear us talk about in the videos, I know that we're like, oh, there's a locked case. Oh, I can't get it. But a lot of times you can have like a little locked cabinet if you have like a bunch of small things and you can do that. But I still, me as a shopper, I want to feel it, touch it, smell it, sniff it.
Yes.
I want to
Yeah,
do,
I don't have a locked case in mine,
yeah,
and I haven't had any problem with theft. They have Rest and Shine has cameras
cameras.
downstairs right when you come in, and so I've never had. I've had that experience that Tiger's talking about with finding other people's things in my booth having, but people turn them in and they
Yeah,
they return them then to the booth. So I haven't
yeah.
had any theft though.
Do
I
you
think,
guys well, what I was gonna say is like the whole case debate for me, like, and there's two things. I think the first thing is that especially with, I'm gonna say like as the business as a whole, versus like individual. Like if you only have like a few vendors that have locked items or cases, if you will, then I don't know that you really need floor walkers. But there have been antique malls that you've been in, and there's nothing wrong with having a mall that's just nothing or nearly nothing but cases. But then you've got to be able to have the staff that is proactively walking around instead of you, like especially if it's like one or two floors, because sometimes I'm just like, I don't know how much it is. I don't want to walk up there, bother somebody, come back down here. And then I'm
yeah.
like, never mind. It's just not a
Yeah.
good feeling,
Do
you
you
know?
remember how nice it was in Ohio at the heart of Ohio? That antique mall had a system. It was
Mhm.
wonderful. they had like these little red vests on.
Yep.
You could hear them because like, well, we were filming and you could hear their walkie talkies, and I would be like,
Mhm.
they would be like, but they were very like, if there was, they would be walking by and you knew because you could hear the walkie talkies and you knew that was someone that could help you open up a booth. And then they would give you like a little clothespin type
Yep.
thing.
Your number.
Yeah, it was great. So that was a great system to have. But I think if you're thinking about setting up at a booth, I think it's really smart to maybe ask those questions about, what do you have cameras or what do you do? Red phones. Yeah. Kyle, I've seen that too. The red phone or what do they do for thefts or theft incidents? So maybe those are all kinds of good questions that you could maybe ask the mall owner when you're inquiring about getting a booth.
And the other thing though too is that, and this is, I mean, I kind of get why people do it, but at the same time, I don't understand it. Is like, if you're gonna have everything locked up, which I totally respect, because unfortunately, the world that we live in, I get it. Especially if you have a bunch of smalls or a bunch of like very high valuable kind of items, show the prices. Just show the prices.
Yes.
Like if you, whether it's a tag, whether it's a sticker, but just have it available for people to see. Because if I want it and the price is right, I'm going to go up to the first or downstairs, or I'm going to go wherever it is that I want to go or have to go to get it.
When we were Ohio, we just kept saying, we would look in these booths and we were going, Mike, I'd say, Michael, I need a man. Go find me a man. I need a man.
Mm-hmm.
I guess with the prices. Oh, sorry. I thought you were
Well,
done.
I was just going to address, Joanne said that there's a place where there's beautifully displayed cases, but I feel so intimidated to shop them. Items are very pricey. Not all the time. Joanne, I was the same exact way. I avoided the locked cases because I thought it's just going to be a waste of time. I have found some amazing pieces in the cases at very affordable prices for myself or for resale.
Mm-hmm.
So I challenge you just to look at them, just to see, because I have quite a bit.
But too, a lot of people, a lot of like the cases, a lot of maybe they just have a lot of small stuff, but too, a lot of times the cases are cheaper to rent, especially for somebody that doesn't have a
Yes.
lot of stuff for resale. The case is cheaper for them to rent. They don't have a lot to really sell as it is, but they've got enough. So do keep that in mind. It's just what Misty said. They might not, it might not be expensive. It just might be it's just enough for them to do because Cindy, Tiger, I mean, when you had your booths, Cindy, how many days a week are you there? Tiger, how many times did you have to go a week?
I only go once a week usually.
Once a week?
So, on occasion, like now, this week I'll probably be going twice. And during busier times, like the holiday season, I go more often, but it's usually once a week. And I usually go on Tuesdays. So Tuesday morning. Usually,
and it's good.
They don't know I'm coming Tuesday morning. They're ready for me.
And it's good though too if you have people that really enjoy your booth and they know if they know when you restock your booth. Like I have a little birdie that tells me when my favorite booth gets restocked, and I am there at the time it opens. Sometimes she even sends me a picture, and I'm like, "Oh, I gotta be there. I gotta be there first thing in the morning."
That's cool.
So it's good to kind of, if you are a buyer, it's good to maybe go when the booth owner is stocking, and don't bug them too bad, but just say hi. And so when do you restock? Just ask kind of those questions and build that relationship. Of course, I'll talk to any damn person. You walking down the road, I'll talk to anybody. So I don't have a problem talking to people, but I don't think that people would mind if you just ask them, well, I really like your booth. You have such nice things. And when do you typically come in and stock?
Yeah, I always will go down at least once a week, but sometimes twice a week, and always Friday mornings to get ready for the weekend. But
Yeah.
with the prices, I always make a point to show the price tags. But when somebody look at things and the employees put
it back.
stuff back,
Yeah.
that's when it happens,
Yeah.
because the employees don't pay attention to that, and that's when the price tags may get turned around or may get covered up. And some of our malls here in our Phoenix area, they run with volunteers, which is even worse, because
Oh,
volunteers come and work for these malls. Usually, people who have cases there, or booths there, and that's what they do. I don't know if they give them a break in their lease or in their rent, or if they just, but they do ask people who have booths there to help out. And I mean, how do you tell a volunteer, well, you better do this, or
Yeah.
but no, it's just, I think it's just the whole thing with the prices, that there are different ways to look at it. But yeah, you definitely gotta go and take care of the booth. To just fill it up and leave it, that's not how you make money. But to me, that was always the fun part, because
Yeah.
I enjoy going there. I enjoy playing around
Yes.
with it, and
Yeah.
that was really why I hung on to it so long. Even though for a while I didn't really make a whole lot off of it. I mostly broke even. But then again, it takes a while to get to know your customers, and
Yeah.
once I get back into it, then I already know more from my last experience, and I'll probably be doing better then too.
Well,
no, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
I was going to say, I think it would be really interesting, Tiger. I think that you kind of were talking about something there about getting to know your customers, and you are in Arizona, and
Yeah.
Cindy is in Pennsylvania. What is it that you guys are seeing in your markets? Like, what do you got a feel for what it is that the people in those areas are looking for? I'm very curious.
Don't start on my pet peeves. Don't start on my.
Oh no, Tiger.
Oh, oh, do tell. This is for, Tiger. Now we're
One of
getting,
the things that I have noticed that really annoys me is that people want stuff. No, not you. People want stuff from the area where they live. So when you're in Arizona, you display desert stuff, desert decor, desert items, and that would usually do well. When you're, at the coast, then you use the sea, or
yeah.
the fishies and stuff like that. And I'm the opposite. I always want stuff that I don't see when I open my door. I see saguaro all day long. No, I want the ocean in my house.
Yeah.
But that's really what I've learned, and that's what I've learned the hard way, because I bring in all these cool things that I love, but people in Arizona don't want them. They want to see the desert. Now I'm also a photographer, and I have some real nice photography, and the pictures that I sell here in Arizona are, Sedona and and stuff like that. But that's what people want. But that's a learning experience, and that. So now next time, I'm not gonna buy ocean designs to resell. I buy cacti to resell.
Do you think that, do you, and Cindy, please, and well, I want to make sure that Cindy, you get in there because I'm curious to hear, but do you think that you guys are seeing a lot of, so it's not necessarily local people, but are you getting like a lot of tourists in through the area that maybe they're coming in because they're not from there, so they're looking for those desert items because, they're in Arizona, and obviously the antique malls are going to be filled with desert region antiques. I don't
Yeah, well, we do have snowbirds here in Arizona. Those retired folks who come here in the wintertime to escape the snow back east, but then they leave again in May. So
Yeah.
they're only here between September and May, and then they leave again. But yeah, they will buy that stuff, and we do have tourists too. But I mean, I know there's Asian tourists. I know one of my
know.
ladies at the mall told me about that. They have a lot of Asian Japanese tourists, and they buy a lot of the glass.
Mhm.
But that's another one of these things that I didn't know, but that was what the mall owner told me, because I haven't seen any of those myself. But I have seen a lot of older people here, and that's just the way it is. And
Yeah.
they're here in the wintertime. They have time. They go shopping, and that's the clientele I mostly notice at the malls.
I
And
had
Cindy,
seen.
what are you seeing for so far as like, do you see any patterns or any market desirability?
It's really interesting because I could tell you exactly what my Etsy store, what I need to put in my Etsy store and what will sell. In my antique booth, I I have a variety of things from I have tools, I have, I have antique like milk containers. I have all kinds of things. I have glass, and my glass doesn't move. All of a sudden, it will. Somebody will buy 2 or 3 pieces, maybe. But I've tried. I've looked at my spreadsheet from my from my antique mall that I get every month, and I don't. I've really tried
There's
to
no
see.
rhyme or
There's no
reason.
real. It's hit or miss, and I know tourists don't typically come to Williamsport. I mean, they do in the summer,
Right.
but during the winter time, I don't think we get many tourist people. I don't know. Maybe we do. I don't know. But um, so I don't know. It amazes me. Sometimes I'll be like, oh my gosh, that sold, and like these other 50 things that I think are beautiful didn't
Mhm.
sell, but
How
it's hit or
long?
miss at my booth.
How long do you typically let? Like, will you let things sit there until they sell, or do you come
No.
in and you kind of bring stuff back, and then what do you do with those things typically?
Um, I store some of them and bring them back later on, try them
Yeah.
again, and some
See,
I put on my Etsy store some of them because they, I mean, a lot of things that I've had in my booth that have sat there for months and months and months. I put that on Etsy and it'll go immediately.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
See, the reason why I bring this up, there's a couple different reasons, but I see you, Kathy. I saw Kathy says she has 3 huge containers, totes full of vintage items. She got them cheap, really cheap from an antique store that went out of business. I have sold some on Instagram, but I take care of both my parents. And then she'd said, I
Goes.
just don't have,
Oh, shoot, sorry. We clicked this.
I just don't have time. My small town isn't into this. I will sell them for what I paid. Any ideas? The reason why that I asked that is I was talking to a lady today that sells in an antique mall. And when the things that she has, when she pulls the thing that has been in there for a little while, she has found somebody that sells things for people on high bid. All right. So she says that she just takes them to them. They take pictures, they put everything on high bid, and just she brings them the stuff and then they give her the money.
oh wow.
So I don't know the ins and outs of how that works, but that's what she does, and she says that she's done pretty well with that. So I don't know, Kathy, if that would be something that you could maybe look into doing if somebody, if depending on what it was, if someone wanted to help you out that way, um, it's something like that might be worth a shot.
I mean, or two, like, I guess the thing is, especially if you're limited with time and you have people that are reliant on you. So, you know, maybe try selling on Instagram. The thing with Instagram is that it does take time.
It's a hard sell, I think,
Mhm.
on a static sale on Instagram.
It takes because but see, that's just like the thing, and it's Cindy, now through Etsy is that, and I guess Instagram is much more like Etsy than I would say eBay is because you begin to curate, you begin building a market or a brand, so that way people know, oh, I can go to Cindy for this, oh, I can go to Tiger for that, oh, but Misty's got this, so it
Mm,
really is going to be, yeah. Geneva is also saying Facebook Marketplace. So I
yeah,
would say just something that will allow you to take a picture when you have the time and something that you can post again, more again at your time rather than looking at trying to burn through everything all at once. It'll take a little bit more time, but it sounds like you're already so limited with it that, it'll help ease the burden, but not add yet another thing onto your plate.
yeah,
There you
yeah.
go. Yeah.
Sounds like good.
Okay. Well, maybe Kathy can
Oh,
meet up with somebody in this in this chat that maybe lives close that maybe can point her in the right directions. We're all trying to help one another.
Yes. And Joanne is asking, how long would you, now I don't sell on eBay, so, Misty, Cindy, I guess this is for you guys. How long do you keep items on eBay or Etsy before pulling them and then relisting at a later date?
They're on till they sell.
That's how I feel too. They're on
Okay.
till they sell.
I will tweak a listing. Like I usually, like, every month I'll go through and I'll look at things that are ending first, and I'll see how many views they've had on them. And if they had, like, I had some that had like 2,000 views, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna end that listing and relist it, do a sell similar, change it a little bit, that make it nice and fresh and clean, and make it a new listing. Because when you're looking at those toggles, you can toggle newly listed or ending soonest, that kind of thing. So if you play around with it a little bit, something that you might have had listed, and I'll maybe lower the price. Depending on the season, maybe I'll raise the price, and just kind of go from there.
Etsy is interesting because people put things in their cart and leave them in their cart.
Yeah.
And then you get, you look at your listings and it's like, it's in 10 people's carts. And you're like, somebody pull the trigger here,
Right. That's frustrating.
Yes.
Now, does Etsy allow you, because eBay has that thing now where, like, when you watch an item, the seller can see how many watchers there are, and then they can sell direct offers. Does Etsy allow you to do that? Like, if you're seeing 10 people have it in their cart?
There's a coupon.
Okay.
You can, for favorited items or empty, or I forget what it's called, leaving your cart. But you had to have set that up before they put it in their cart. In other words, so like after, if you saw if you saw that they had it in your cart, but you didn't already have that coupon thing set up, then they aren't going to get the email with the coupon. So
Okay.
Let's see. What did I?
You
Someone
would-
else say? Oh, All in the Attic says, I have items posted in Instagram, and although I have 200 plus followers, I haven't sold anything. It's a hard but then Carrie, are you using hashtags? That we talked about that before too. If you're posting something, it's always good to make sure that you're using hashtags to describe as many adjectives as you can. I know that it seems silly, and I know that it's frustrating, and it takes a little bit of time, but that's the only way that your item's going to get seen. Like Carrie, hashtags bring people to you. Yes, Carrie, that's true. Make sure your profile is public so the hashtag followers can see what you got. That's important too.
Yes, Carrie, you do know something about Instagram. And
Get Carrie the gold sticker tonight.
But you know what? And this is
Carrie, here's your sticker.
This is something that is, Tiger, obviously now you are selling, utilizing social media. Cindy, you are utilizing social media to leverage better sales in your vendor mall and through Etsy. But at the end of the day, Instagram is a completely free app. So if you are looking at reselling and you're not using Instagram or Facebook, it doesn't have, yes, obviously you're on YouTube. YouTube is another example of it. But if you are not utilizing those platforms that are free for you to use, you are missing out on opportunities left and right. And like anything in life, it's only going to pay out what you put into it. And 200 followers is fantastic. That is great. But keep at it. Don't get frustrated. I said it earlier before you even said, it does take longer through Instagram because you have to curate, you have to build. But I'm telling you, once you start getting those sales, they're going to come to you. Just keep at it, use the hashtags, use the stories, use the reels. Those are all tools that are free for you to use.
Well, and the thing of it is, though, building up an audience is also is you have to, there's a whole lot of follow through. If you want them to come back and to keep coming back and to keep coming back, then building up that client base, like, you know, getting their items to them in a timely manner, communication with them. And, you know, they're going to want to keep coming back. However, we also, and I've noticed, and Michael, we noticed last night in our sale, we had a lot of new buyers. I mean,
Yeah.
I would say every single sale, I have 2 to 3 sales a week. Every single sale, I have at least 5 to 6 new buyers every single time. So, you know, that's making me think that, you know, how is it that we're getting all of these new buyers? What's going on? I really wish that there was a way that we could track that.
Yeah, I agree.
There isn't. But I guess just continuously marketing yourself.
Well,
Using
I think the
Instagram.
thing that it's like day and time though. You
Yeah.
know, you've got to know. And I think that we do have a good day, Sunday, and we have a good time because a lot of the new buyers are coming from central to western US. Is what I typically find. But the time seems to be working very well for our central and west coast. And if I go into my YouTube analytics, West Coast is a huge, huge
Huge.
supporter of the cult of vintage for thrifter junker too. Yeah. I mean, I cannot tell you how much it is, and I'm glad
In
though.
Canada.
And Canada, yeah. Who else? Australia, another really good supporter. The UK, obviously a lot of English speaking, or yeah, English. American. We speak American.
Well,
I think we kind of do. Right?
yeah.
Oh.
Just putting pictures of her Hope was saying, just putting pictures of her booth draws people in. So Hope, you're putting those pictures. Are you using hashtags? Are you hashtagging the location that you're at? Are you hashtagging like vintage life, vintage home, vintage seller, vintage, I don't know where you're at,
Display booth,
Pennsylvania?
vintage antique mall.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are you using those hashtags? I bet she is. Hope, I bet you are. I bet you are, Hope.
That's right. You got to do it. So I have a question. Okay, I'm just gonna go for it because I'm really curious. Because I know Tiger, I know typically where you are going. Well, Cindy, we've shopped together too. Do you guys have a preference? Because this is what I'm really interested in. Okay, let's do this. How about this? So recently I made a video and it was a Goodwill video. And in the Goodwill video, I spoke about how I was really trying to encourage more people specifically to shop at small businesses, more so in line with vintage and antique malls. And there were a lot of really good points. One of the points that I would love to talk about is the idea or concept, and I think I talked to Misty about this, is the idea or concept, because now that I've done this for a year and because I am utilizing YouTube and Instagram, that a year ago I wouldn't have, like, I would have been petrified to spend $20 on an item. Where now, like, I'm like, that whole Howard candle, it's $3.35. Yeah, that's a deal. Give that to me. Do you know what I mean? And that was such a good. I want to say it was, the user's name was Hollis, and I believe it was, and thank you. That it was such a good point. I mean, where is it that you guys are going out and sourcing? And do you guys have a cutoff point? Do you know what I mean? So far as, because you're like, but maybe you'll go higher for something that you would list on Etsy. Do you know what I mean? Versus your antique booth. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, where are you primarily sourcing? And do you have like that comfort, or you're like, but that item I know is going to sell, or that was really all out there? I know.
No, I don't think so. Do you feel comfortable spending up on certain items that you know that you can sell for a profit? I think in jest, that's what you were asking.
There you go. Like Picasso's like, I won't spend more than 15 on an item.
Oh, I will.
Me too.
I
I mean,
will.
I've spent oh gosh, $150 sometimes on an item.
I've never spent that much.
Depends on what it is and what I know I have sold it previously for.
Well,
I
yeah.
haven't done my research on it, but I used to be the same way. I used to be like, I'm not spending over $20 on anything. But in order for you to, I mean, for you to make, you have to spend money to make money.
Exactly.
Yeah, blackberry thistle tea. That's right. Scared money don't make money.
And it's
That
true.
is the truth. But it's still money
It
out of
takes
your
a
pocket.
while. It's
Yeah.
money in the pocket, and it does take a while to mentally feel comfortable, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, but yeah, you
Ooh, Michelle, thinking out of the box, girl. I source from moving companies. They always have leftovers from movers to get rid of.
well,
I'll go
Write
ahead,
that down.
you're letting the
right?
cat out of the bag, Michelle.
And I highlighted it.
That's awesome.
Everyone's gonna be
That's a
calling
great
movie
idea.
companies.
Hmm.
It all depends on who you are too, though. Because I mean, Misty, Michael, Jeffrey, all you guys have your channels set up. You have a huge following, and for you, it's easier to make those sales. Now, my live sale last week, of course, I had a real hard time trying to figure out the marketing because I couldn't do the whole little, announcement, and I worked on that for a few days, and I did get one done. But it's just it's all a matter of building up your followers, and once you build them up to a point where you can sell the stuff, it's different. No,
Yeah,
I'm in between. I still don't like to spend a lot of money. I do. I have spent a little more money recently at the antique mall on good quality items, but I'm holding them back because right now I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to sell them because I don't have the following today or tomorrow. In a couple of months, on the other hand, I'm hoping to. In the
yeah,
meantime, I also source in my spare bedroom in my storage unit because I mean I've been collecting stuff for a long time. A year ago, well, a year and a half ago, I picked up a bunch of stuff from my uncle's estate that I hauled back from Virginia in a big old rented van, and that's in the storage unit now. So that's all the stuff that I'm going to need to bring out and start selling. So my main focus when I'm going out shopping is to make a video to keep my channel going, to make my followers happy, to show them something that they don't forget about me, but not necessarily the purchasing in the first place. And that's why I had this comment on your video, Michael, that when I drive by a Goodwill, it's right there in the parking lot, and I have another half hour to spare. I pull over, go in there, do some filming, and I have found nice items. I'm not gonna walk out with a whole basket full of stuff, but if I walk
right.
out with 2 or 3 good items, I'm happy, and I have a video to post the next day. But I'm also going to the antique malls today. I actually found a thrift store I've never seen before, and they were closed, of course. But next week I'm gonna go and check that one out. And I also go to other thrift stores that are better quality, a little bit more pricey,
Yeah,
but have better quality stuff and have actual charities that they support, not just their CEO.
right,
So
right.
I mix it up. But if I have this thought, I want to make a video to show on YouTube to show to my followers, then Goodwill is fine.
I think it's whatever works best for you. I cannot. It takes me going to 3 different Goodwills in my area to find something to make one video out of. Otherwise, it would be like a 10-minute video. Because I'll go into Goodwill and I'm looking at the clothes and stuff, but for me, not for resale, so I'm not gonna film that. And my Goodwill has 2 rows of hard goods. Just you could like walk in a circle and that's it. So it just isn't a very big, big Goodwill. Now I still shop at Goodwill. I'll go into Goodwill. I always trying to find something in Goodwill, but I'm just not filming in Goodwill anymore. It
You
just
also have strong bases that can be used as weapons.
Right. We always
That's
have
what
to
I
have a
saw, and I
weapon
was
around.
there
You need
with
to
a
look around. Everybody look around right now. Do you have something sitting around you that you can use as a weapon? Because that's
That
all.
was that was such a beautiful swan vase milk glass, and it was so broken. It was dangerous. It had this big old, with broken off on top, and it could have been used as a weapon. I about cried. It was the first thing I saw in Bedford.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was broken. It was really broken. But I mean, I think that where everybody feels their comfort zone as far as where their business is right now, I think that works well for them. I think that the whole goodwill thing, that the argue with that is that it seems like when you're making content, just having goodwill in your title is what's going to get you views. And I just had a problem with that because I hate filming there. I hate filming in Goodwill. And in my opinion, I just don't want to. So I'm not going to.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. And I don't know. I just that there was a lot of really good points in regards to Goodwill, and that was like the thing. And I tried to articulate it. I think that I didn't do as well in the time frame that I was given because there's just there's a lot of gray area that I just quite frankly don't want to talk about it, at least in that time and that place that I
Right.
really wanted to talk about it. People have a variety of different for reasons as to why they do want to support Goodwill and why they don't want to support Goodwill. That was me expressing why I was choosing personally not to. And at the end of the day, it is exactly what Misty said, is that you have to do whatever is going to work best for you. Um, I don't know. And if going to Goodwills or other thrift stores and you've set like a $5 limit or a $2 limit
Mhm.
on the things that it is that you need to buy because you're not getting the amount of margin or profit out of an item, or you don't have the resources with which to sell those items and get a higher profit margin on them. I
Yeah.
totally get that. And I don't want to diminish or reduce anybody's, hustle, because at the end of the day, that's all that we're all doing. That said, I would highly encourage you to utilize social media and to use it to its fullest potential. So if you don't have YouTube, then try doing a YouTube channel. If you're like, I don't want to do it at all, and you don't have Instagram, then try Instagram. But if you don't want to do Instagram at all, then try Facebook Marketplace. But if you don't want to do any of those things, then you're never going to grow your business at the end of the day, because again, you got to put the time and the effort into it. I mean, Cindy's going to her booth once a week. Tiger was going once or twice at least a week. You're going
Well,
out and sourcing, and you're refreshing things, and you are moving things around. Like, it's time
I
and work.
I still go to Goodwill, but my our Goodwills are not. Even when I first started sourcing, there was a lot more I could find at Goodwill. And we also have American Rescue Workers.
Yeah.
There's two close to me, and I do
Don't
really
tell
find.
them. Don't tell
Sorry,
them.
sorry. I do find I find quite a few things there. And then I have in the little town next to where I live, which I'm not going to mention. There's a farmers market every Thursday, and that was my honey hole for a long time. But boy, it's dried up in the last,
yeah.
well, probably about 6 months ago. It started to dry up. At the beginning of the summer, in the spring, it was great, and oh my gosh, I was ecstatic. But then a couple of the vendors stopped coming. They were going to other places, and they were going on the weekends rather than Thursdays. And so now I'm like, oh, I'm so sad because, there were a couple vendors there that were bringing L.A. Smith Moon and Stars and for practically nothing. It was fabulous. But I got a lot of antique malls and I just
Yeah.
dig for the stuff. I find it.
Antique malls, vendor malls, flea markets.
Yeah.
Those are my
Yeah.
favorite. Mom and pops. There's
I
a
go
little,
all over Pennsylvania too. My husband and we like to go. And so
yeah.
we pick out places and we just go. So
Yeah. I mean, I love finding these, like, there's my video I didn't put out a video today. I'm hoping maybe I'll get one edited tomorrow. But I think it's gonna be my next video, but it is just a little mom and pop thrift store. And it's just the sweetest little place. And they've got different vendors in there. It's real small, but it's just a really great place to go into. And I love finding places like that, it's just a mom and pop. They just, I don't know. You just feel like you're stepping back in time sometimes when you go into those little stores like that.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like I ask where because it's because when we had Jason and Tina on, I think there was like a misconception too with the store itself, but also the vendors that like well the vendors are just finding this stuff on the side of the road or something like because they come in and they say why is the price like this so high or why are you charging this much for this because it's like well they're having to go out and buy this stuff. They're putting their time and their energy into buying those things.
Do you need a big following to have a live sale on YouTube? What do y'all think?
It helps, but you gotta start somewhere. And I don't have a big following, but it's all about quality. You need a few good people. You need people who are loyal to you, who like your wares, who like you, and who are who would like to buy from you. And no, Rome wasn't built in a day, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, my last live sale wasn't, like I said, the actual sale itself wasn't that successful because I wasn't really advertising very well, and I'm still getting into that now. But I also had a good response afterwards. I mean, a lot of stuff ended up selling afterwards. People were watching watching it back later, and they emailed me, and I end up selling a lot of stuff in the end. So, I mean, I'm happy with where I am, even though I don't have a large following. I mean, I just checked. I had 656 followers. I know eventually I'll get to 1,000, but when I first started, I was happy when I got to 100, and then I went to see you in September, Misty, and all of a sudden I was at 500, like within a couple of days. I mean, that just was amazing.
Well, Tiger, you just have such a lovely aura and a lovely presence about you, and I think people just immediately just kind of feel connected to you. But I think that one thing that you do is a really smart thing, and that's having that call to action in your video or during your sale. If you don't sell it everything and just, you make sure that you say, email me. This is my email address. If you see something that didn't sell, it's still email me and I'll sell it to you. Giving that people that call to action, I think, is a really important thing. And it may seem silly, but it is such an important part of a video. And by the way, let's everybody go to subs to Tiger's channel. Go sub to Tiger's channel. Everybody.
Tiger is a sweetie. Tiger was the first. I think Tiger was one of the first people that welcomed me when I first started coming to live sales. Tiger was always saying hello.
He is just such a lovely, lovely, lovely person. And he's always there to help. And I love you, Tiger.
Oh, thank you.
Such an important person in my life. I just adore him.
Misty, you're a mod.
I am?
You could.
What am I doing?
I was going to say you could drop a link.
Give me power?
You can drop a link. I mean,
I'll drop a link.
Because that way it makes it easier for everybody in the chat. Because what Misty's going to do is she's going to drop a direct link to Tiger's channel. So all you have to do is click on that link.
You, but I don't want to buy you for $17.
Sorry, that was my video.
Excuse me? 17? You want to buy me for
that was my video. Well, because when you click on your YouTube channel, that's like the video that pops up. And if I muted it, then I wouldn't. Okay, here is the link to Tiger's channel. There. And one thing that I have I keep seeing a lot in the community tab is it shows up as Michael, but that was me that typed it in. Make sure that the people that you enjoy watching, make sure that you're actually still still subscribed to them, because YouTube has been unsubscribing people from their people. So make sure that you check and be like, Michael, am I still subscribed? I'm gonna make sure. And that, because
And make sure the notifications are on.
yeah, 3 or 4 people that I was
Yes.
subscribed to, and I wasn't subscribed to them anymore.
Mm-hmm. You just never know.
It happens.
Mm-mm.
Posh Misty the Mod. Just call me Poshy Pate the Mod.
Ooh, uh-oh. Poshy Pate. Oh, Judy and Kathy. There we go, guys. We can do this.
Yay.
Yay. Yay. So just make sure that, listen, if you're not subscribed to us, make sure that you are. And like Michael said, hit the notification button. I know that it doesn't always work, but it does work sometimes.
Or delayed.
Or delayed. It might let you know later, but you might be like 10 minutes late, but you'll still be there.
Mm-hmm.
I got an email today, and I don't know if the person's watching tonight. I'm not going to say who it is, but they asked me for instructions, asked if I had a video instructions on how to buy from the live sales.
Oh.
And I just said, well, just come and we'll show you how.
Yeah, just pop in. That's all you have to do is show up. That's number one. Just show up. That's the important thing.
And send that email with your
Laura
information.
says, I also just subscribed and I thought that I was. See?
Mm-hmm.
See? YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember to send that email with your information so we can bill you. We can send the invoice out.
Yeah.
If you don't have your email, then we can't send you any invoices.
I wants to know, what do you guys personally like to collect?
Oh, everything. Everything.
Yeah.
Readers.
Purple.
Misty knows. I love my readers.
Oh, I've got some good ones coming up too, Cindy.
I have so many now, though, Misty.
I know. But see, now I'm getting pickier when I buy them. I'll look through and look for a certain look to them, or like if I see pixies in them, or if I see, holiday stories in them, I tend to just buy those.
I collect restaurant wear too. I have a lot of restaurant wear. I have some packed in boxes because I don't have any place for it anymore. But I love the Shenango. I love all the stuff that was made in Pennsylvania and Falls Creek, and I have a lot of that. And I have some Pennsylvania Railroad.
Oh wow!
Restaurant wear. Yeah. It's really expensive to get, but
sometimes you get lucky.
I started collecting those swung vases though now. I love the blue ones. I did sell the Viking one, but I wish I would have kept it now. I sold it, yeah.
Well, hey, now you've got a little extra, you can buy one. You find another one.
But now I have two Amberina. I have two Amberina ones, and now I have another blue one that I bought. I found the two Amberina ones at that honey hole. The one was $2.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now I know why it's a honey hole. $2.
Yeah. And it's like 15 inches. So 15-inch.
Ooh.
A subscriber had sent this to me, and I'm sorry, but I can't remember who it was. But my favorite piece of restaurant wear is, and then it's from Santa Claus Land.
Oh.
And it's Jackson, China.
Yeah, Jackson. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Isn't that so? Oh,
that is so cool.
Santa Claus Land in Santa Claus, Indiana.
Is that going to be on a sale?
No, never.
Rats.
Never. I'll keep it forever.
Taking time. Yes. Cindy's Etsy shop is direct linked in the description of the video. So all you have to do is follow that link and then just follow her Etsy shop, and you'll get notifications then. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. I love to do that.
Thank you.
What about you, Tiger? A little bit of everything, but anything special maybe? Maybe something you have more of than others?
Garfield,
Purple,
Tiger.
possibly? I'm
Purple.
horrible because I change. I collect this one month and I collect that next month. I mean, I still have my Garfield collection back in that vitrine back there that I need to pack up so I can make room for my new stuff now. But I also have so much purple. I had one picture out on Instagram of just a little bit of that stuff, but right now I'm at the point where I need to figure out which of my purple to keep and which of my purple to get rid of to make room for more purple.
Mm.
Because when you first start out, and I think I'm not the only one, but when you first start out, you collect just anything, and then you learn the quality over quantity, and then you learn what to look for. I mean, right
The
now
what?
I definitely fell in love with the Viking glass, so I'm
Oh,
I'm
me
looking more
too,
at
Tiger.
Viking, and I bought a couple of purple stuff things from you too, Misty, at
Yep.
at your shop, and I mean it's like, and I brought so much purple back from Germany. In fact, there's one big, beautiful piece that I had to leave because it didn't fit in my suitcase. That's at
Oh,
my cousin's house and waiting for me to pick it up next year.
Aw.
And it's just amazing. I mean, when I was in Germany, there were the flea markets are pretty expensive, especially the big one because it's kind of a tourist trap too. It used to be real nice. I used to actually sell at that particular one, but now it's turned into more of a tourist trap and way too many professional dealers. But there was this one lady with that glass booth, and she gave me smashing deals, and she had such beautiful items. I could have bought a lot more if I had had more room, but that was like, I'm really getting into the glass. I really am. And like I said, Garfield is always staying with me, but he's not always going to be displayed. He's ready to go back to sleep in the storage unit for a while I'm displaying like on like Reset, Mid-Century Modern. I love my dishes, my Mid-Century Modern dishes. I have several sets and I switch them out every so often.
Yeah.
This month I like the blue, and next month I like the purple, and the next month I like something else. It's really hard. And I only have 1,365 square foot house. I need to move back into a bigger house to make room for more.
right. I don't know. I don't. That's the thing, and this might shock a lot of people, but I don't have. I think I have two glass vases. That's it. Like I don't collect glass like that.
Brownies.
Brownies. Oh my gosh, yes. Palmer Cox brownies. Yes, we're on. Hmm.
Palmer Cox, which is expensive.
Yeah, that's why Michael stalks the Palmer Cox eBay listings twice a day. Always looking, just like, because you got to toggle, you got to always search for the new listings, always search for the new
Yeah.
listings, and then you search for what's ending soonest, just in case something snuck in there on me. Hmm. Yeah. Are we making the rounds? I don't know. Um, okay. We got a chalkware fish collector. Oh, Jay does not own a lot of glass either.
Yeah, cats and glass don't mix.
No, they don't. No, no.
I don't have cats.
I do. I love Christ. Well, I like Christ Psycho ceramics, but really the weirder they are, the better. Like I have a couple of them now that I need to sell because they're just not weird enough. They're not like they don't look crazy enough.
Yes.
You know.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
vintage
how can you
Christmas.
not?
Yeah,
Mhm.
vintage Christmas is
Vintage Christmas is great, and I'm serious. All of my sales for the rest of the year are all vintage Christmas. I bought more today, in fact. Um, I went shopping Friday and Saturday, bought more vintage Christmas, and I already had a lot of it. And I got all of my own personal Christmas down, and I am going to create I might do this for Wednesday's sale, actually, maybe. I'm gonna get rid of some of my own personal Santas. Because I need to. I'm trying to downsize, and so I'm only going to keep the ones that I really, really like. So y'all are great guys, but some of you I don't care too much about because I've
They're
got
filler. They're
they're
filler.
filler.
Hmm.
They're filler. I love Santa.
I don't know. Like that's like one of my downfalls is the Christmas and especially like the really tiny stuff. Like I'm obsessed with the tiny stuff and it's easy to collect, but it's easy to get carried away with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because the next thing you know, it's hard to display that stuff though too, you know. You don't want to just stick it all in a jar and call it a day.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I know.
Patricia would like to know how many Santas do you think that you have, Misty?
Oh, over 100
At least.
at least. And
Wow.
now, Jerry, Vintage and Vino, I will be selling one spaghetti Santa on Wednesday sale.
Oh,
Wednesday sale.
yeah, we might have some Christ tomorrow, maybe. I'm just saying. Maybe.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I am. I've changed things around. I'm selling a lot of pixies. If you like pixies and Santas, then yeah, I'm selling a Rushton Santa tomorrow.
There we go.
Coca-Cola one.
Victorian. Does he have his bottle?
Yeah.
Ooh, so
He's complete, but his little belt has got some issues, but it's there, but it's got some issues.
I preach about downsizing as I grab my purse. Exactly, right? Hmm.
I know it's so well. We were talking about this earlier. I have got to figure out. I've got to quit shopping from other places. I need to shop my own place because I will be like on an episode of Hoarders because I have so much stuff. So I got to figure something else out. I know you guys like shopping videos, but I need to figure something else out because it's getting ridiculous.
That's a huge struggle. It's just you find yourself in like this constant cycle. And just when you think that you're doing better, then you go and you find a really great place
Yeah.
and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I got such good stuff." And then you're like, "Oh my God, I have to store it all now and try to
Yeah.
figure out what to do with all of this."
Mm-hmm.
I know when I go into an antique store, a new one, and I always say, I'm buying 4 things. I'll even tell my husband, I'm buying 4 things. Pretty soon my cart or my basket has like 10 things in it.
Oh,
and
I
like,
will.
wait a minute.
My
I thought
cart
you were
will be
just gonna do
overflow.
4.
My cart's overflowing every time I go shopping. Like I can't get one more thing in my cart. And then I bring it back and I'm like, where are you going to put this, Misty? It's crazy.
I guess I have to have another sale. Hmm.
Listen, I could have a sale and I tinkered around. You know how people in December will do Vlogmas? So they'll do like vlogs every single day. I've tinkered with the idea of like and I won't do this for a whole month, but maybe for like at least a week, have a sale every single day, like a shortened sale. Like, I'll sell,
Well,
20 things each day, have a
There you
sale.
go.
But people would probably get sick of seeing me. 2, people would be mad at me for whatever reason they'd be mad at me about. And 3, I don't know. But it's something I'm thinking about, but I don't know.
That's a lot of shipping now.
I love the shipping, Michael.
Okay, I'm just saying,
My favorite part.
just saying. So, Antiques from Karen Janet is asking each of us, what is the next category that you're trying to learn? I'm going to go with pottery because there's so much, like, and I know truthfully, no, you know what? I'm going to take that back. Jewelry.
Yeah.
Jewelry. Mhm. There's a lot. It's like no matter what category you pick, you're stuck trying to like you say glass. Well, how many glass manufacturers or pottery or jewelry or ceramics?
I don't know. I'm all over the place. There isn't any one thing that I can think that I don't know how to answer that. I really don't. I don't know how to answer it.
I'm
Cindy,
trying to learn more about the swan vases because I don't know anything about.
Well,
I don't know. So
Cindy,
I've been trying to learn about that.
you will think you know what one is, but you didn't. And then you're
Mhm.
like, oh,
No.
I know. This is Ellie Smith. No,
Yeah.
no,
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 that's
it's not.
Viking. No, that's Viking.
Yeah.
You'll be welcome to our Land of Confusion show, where we're like, that's Ellie Smith. No, it's not. It's Viking. Well, hell.
Well, I'll try.
Yeah, you can try. We're still trying. We're still trying.
I'm trying to learn a lot of things. There's a lot of things I don't know.
That's the truth. Tyga, is there any like category that you're trying to like brush up on or that you're becoming more interested in?
All of them actually, but my problem is that my brain doesn't contain it. It's like
Yep.
one moment I know it, and then 5 minutes later, it's gone. So it's really hard. I mean, like all the glass, I got, and I mean, I'm starting to be able to recognize Viking just because I love it and just because the way it's made, and that's why I do love it, the style and the feel of it and everything. But with a lot of these, it's like I just completely get them all mixed up and scrambled around in my brain, and
Yeah.
I really know it's either this or that or that. But which is it? So yeah, I mean, it's really hard because there's so much. Ultimately, you can't learn it all, and it takes me longer than the average, younger person, because I'm at the age where, yeah, it's really, I know you're only as old as I feel, and right now I feel about
Tell me about
125.
it.
It's
Well, and like
really hard.
I could never learn like patterns on like depression glass
Oh,
or
yeah.
even like jadeite patterns or
Mm.
Pyrex patterns, or
No.
I can't retain that. That's just too of a revolving door in my brain. It's just like it won't stick in there.
Is it because, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I like it. I do like it, but I'm not like passionate about it. Therefore, I don't necessarily invest a lot of time. Uh, like the jewelry, like I do see the value in it because there are some absolutely gorgeous and beautiful pieces, and I appreciate the artistry in it. So that's what makes me more curious. That's what makes me more likely to want to research it and delve further into it, is because I'm like, well, that's really pretty. Who made that? And then you see that design, and you see all of these other beautiful designs they did, and that's what starts you down the rabbit hole.
It does.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, and that and Google Lens is my best friend. I love Google Lens so much. Sometimes I have fights with Google Lens. Sometimes Google Lens and I go round and round. But for the most part, if you were looking for something, and I've done it right before a live sale, I'm like, oh crap, I want to sell this, but I don't know what it is. I'll pull out my phone and do Google Lens, and then I'll write that down in my notes. But then sometimes Google Lens is like, no, we're not going to tell you what this is. But yeah, Google Lens is great.
And you know what? This is interesting. And Randy, I see your question because I think this is Randy. Your question is going to come into play. Then, Janet is saying, I envy the resellers. They get to choose what they buy. If they don't want to learn something, you don't have to. You can skip that aisle.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. But I mean, personally, aside from clothing, I will go down any aisle. I
I do.
will. I will
I
go
do
down
too.
every aisle because I'm telling you, you never know. You
You
never
never know.
know. You never know.
True.
And I'll go down them twice.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
For
People
sure.
are like, oh, the electronics aisle. I'm gonna go down
Nope,
the
I'm going
electronics
down
aisle.
it.
Yes, I am. Yep. I might not know what I'm looking at, but that's the thing. We know our vintage, you know your antiques, and maybe it's a vintage clock, and you're like, I don't really do electronics, but it's a really cool clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not pick it up? Hmm.
Electronics sells on eBay for great, great, great
There you
prices.
go. Do you guys go down Cindy Tiger? Do you go like do you go down every aisle, or are you just like, well, that's the brown aisle, not for me?
I go down every aisle.
Hey, where'd he go?
Well,
Michael
it
likes to
depends.
go down the underwear aisle.
Well, you have people moving
Randy,
stuff
that was
around.
a good one. That was a good one, Randy. Michael gets skeevied out.
I have gotten much better, but
I
I still won't go to the
the
bins.
bins with Michael so bad.
No. Mm-mm. I couldn't believe that Google was evil and hateful that day, and I was like, "Well, I'm here, so no." Mm-mm. Took me to the bins. Rude.
The ear thermometers.
Ugh.
Mm.
And underwear in it. There was underwear.
I found a female plaything in the in the bins. Yeah,
No.
Never been to the bins.
a nighttime female plaything.
Ugh. No. Randy's asking when sourcing, is price more important than buying what your customers seem to want? Prices in how much the item is, or prices in like the profit?
I mean, I don't want to buy something that I think I'm going to lose money on.
Right.
I
I guess.
gotta buy for the customers in the first place. That's
Yeah.
the whole point. And if I find an item that's that cost me $40, but I know there's a customer out there who will pay considerably more to at least give me enough of a profit where I'm happy with it,
Yeah.
then so be it. But at the same time, I know sometimes when I'm, especially me, because I'm cheap, when I find something I'm totally fascinated by, if it's $5, I'm gonna spend the $5. I may not in the end sell it, but and I have learned from people on YouTube that it's a learning experience. If you're in doubt, you can buy the item. You learn about. If you don't make money off of it, you at least you have your money's worth by knowing what it is and so on. But I keep a lot of stuff too. I mean, I'm a sucker for, like I said, I have collections of this and that, and I change them out, and it's something that is cheap, so to speak. I'm more tempted to buy it than when it's more expensive. But it all depends. It's really, you can't say yes or no. You gotta go by case.
That's interesting because I don't know. I was thinking about that earlier today. Like the whole idea of like the cost versus desirability, because this is the thing, and I don't know that it's hypocritical, but I think it's a bit of a conundrum because there are certain things where I don't know whether the profit is when you have a smaller profit on something, and it might be that you're paying a little and making a small profit on it, or you're spending up. You're still, like, regardless, you're going to make money on it, but you're just not making a lot of money on it. But it's that item that you're like, I really want to sell this. I don't know what it is. It's just there is that I want to bring this to a sale, or I want to be the one to have this for sale. And it could be the $10 item, it could be the $200 item. It's that the $10 item you spent $3 on, so you made $7. It's not the biggest profit, but you still made $7. But it's really cute, it's really fun, and you really just wanted to have that item for sale, right? Versus having the $200 item that you made $50 on. Again, comparatively, it's a better dollar. It's not as good as a margin, but it was like a wow item, and so what, Michael? You won't buy something you don't like. Yeah, I will. Randy says you won't buy something you. Look. The vast majority of the stuff, and this is the truth.
It is. Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
The vast majority of the items that I buy, I'm not personally vested in. You know what I mean? Like, I buy stuff for you guys. I do. When I go out shopping and I happen to see something that I like, yeah, I'll get it. If there's something where I'm kind of like on the line, you guys have seen it, where I will struggle to be like, oh, I don't want to sell this. but I will, because that was its intended purpose. But I will, yeah, most of the
Mhm.
stuff.
The why I see it is basically we all have the same taste. We all like vintage. We all like antique. We all and all a little different categories. Now I don't like green. It's not my color. Do I buy green stuff? Heck yeah, because I know it's in fashion right now. People
Right.
like green. But and that's just an example. But I also wanna cater to everybody. I know some people don't
Yeah.
have the big bucks. They can't spend $200 on an item, even if it's worth $200. Some people have $10 to spend, and then I'd be happy to bring them a cheaper item that's still a nice item, but that they can participate in the sale and they don't feel alienated by high prices. And that's something I really admire you on that, Michael. You have such a way to pick these totally cool items, but you also have the clientele who appreciate it and who will buy it from you. And it's like sometimes I'm sitting there, I'm just jealous because, like, you know what, I would like to buy that too, but right now I can't. But then
Well,
here comes another item that's a little bit cheaper, and then I can buy it, and that's just a fine line, and that's why there's really no easy way to explain it. It's all about hit and miss, and sometimes you buy items that don't sell. That's just the way it is.
yeah. Well, and I think that's something as a reseller in what we do, we struggle going back and forth between doing things as an all offer up versus a set price thing. There are some things that I personally have that I'm like, this, I'm not going to do this as an offer up because it just doesn't warrant it. But at the same time, it's trying to find a balance in time. So we don't want to have I don't want to have a sale that's more than 3 hours. I really would like to have a sale that's 2 hours long. So, because to me, to my time is important. Yes, I need to be on here
Are
to
you
sell.
challenging me? Come on, woman.
I know, but at the same time, I also need to get off and I need to package the item. I need to send the invoices. I need to set up for the next sale. I need to, I need to do
Eat.
everything else. Eat. I don't want to spend the entire day, having a live sale when I can be doing other things with that time. So it's one of the reasons why we decided to do things as an all offer up is for timing reasons. It does make the sales move by quicker, and it does help with people's internet. Like, I know a lot of people like I don't do just in case. We don't do just in case at my sales. There's no just in case at my sales. The reason why we do just in case is because of the lag. It isn't because honestly, quite honestly, if we didn't implement just in case, we probably would make more money on the
We
items.
would. Yeah.
We would definitely be making more items on items if we were not implementing the just in case. But the reason why is because it justifies for the lag time a little bit. So, but there are some people that I will not do it just in case because they know that they're not going to they probably won't make as much money on that item because it kind of caps that item. If someone types in a just in case, if the item is selling for 25 and somebody types in the just in case, 45, well,
Then you
you're,
got to put in 46 if you're going to beat that person.
yeah,
Otherwise, you're just bidding, you lost it by $1.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And the countdown does help with the
It
lag.
does.
Yeah.
But then some people hate the count. I've gotten so many comments. I hate that long countdown. Quit
The
counting
15
down.
seconds. I know. It's crazy long, isn't it? Oof.
Yeah.
But no, and that's, with the buying of stuff, I don't know. And it's interesting. And I don't know. I guess I have to say that I am very appreciative and I am very thankful because, thinking back, a year ago, I would never. There are certain things that it wasn't in my budget to be
Right.
able to buy them. That said, and this is going to bring me to this important point, is that if because look, if you want to, because initially a year ago, the whole reselling thing, it was for fun. It was some extra pocket money. that was money that I could use towards the collection. And then I wasn't, it was discretionary dollars, and that was my fun money. And then things, over time, and that's what it was for me. That's all it was going to be for me. And things started to progress, and I progressed with them. But what I did with that money is I didn't spend it all. I started to reinvest it in my business so that I could start buying nicer things, so that I knew then, well, if I'm getting, more buyers and new people are coming and you're attracting new buyers and you're establishing your name, you're becoming a reliable seller, then I want to be able to have higher quality items that are unique. It's not always a question of profitability, but the uniqueness typically is inherent to them being for them selling more, but it's getting those weird, unique, wow, I can't believe, but you've got to reinvest that money. You can't just constantly be spending it. You
Well,
have
and I
to
think
hold on to it.
it's important to know how much you are spending each week as well, because you could say, oh, I made $500 at this live sale today, but I spent $300 of it in my items. So then you only made a couple $100. So I mean, is that worth it?
Yeah. No.
And it may be worth it if you're just doing it as a side hustle. It may be perfectly fine.
But that's, that is a big thing, and that's something that you do have to, and we've talked about it before, but you spend $400. Okay. And you bought, 10 items, right? You're out the $400. And of those 10 items, you sell five of those items. And, you sell each of those five items for $20 each. And you're like, yeah, I made a good profit. This is great,
Yeah.
But it's like, well, no, you still have those other items. You're still out that other money. So you're in the red at this point. So those are things that you do have to make sure that you are keeping track of.
Yep.
Yeah. There you go. Do it per item. Do it on your total. Again, whatever is going to work for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I know.
Tiger is at 699 subscribers. Tiger.
Thank you, everybody.
Yay,
That is
Tiger.
cool.
That
cool. Makes me very happy. Thank you.
Yay. Okay. I just made 2 videos. They had to be edited though. Any help on editing apps or use the YouTube edit?
Yeah, that's what I need.
I use Filmora. Now, Michael, he edits on his phone. I can't. My old eyes can't. I need to see a big screen. I can't focus on the phone. But
well, truth be told, though, like seriously, that's the thing about progressing. I really feel now that I'm getting to a point where I need to progress in the editing and wanting to put out, higher quality content. So, yeah, but I would recommend Video Maker, totally free on your phone. Absolutely.
And all you have to do is play around with it. Just play around with it. I learned just by messing around with it. I didn't know what I was doing. I just was like, well, a lot of the software will have tutorials that you can watch as well. But yeah, you just have to play around with it. And I think that editing a video, my videos are not highly edited, nor will they ever be. They'll never be highly edited because that's just not what makes me. Having a highly edited video does not make me. I don't enjoy sitting and spending hours upon hours editing a video. I want to be out, I want to be in the field, not sitting back and editing a video. So while my videos will be edited, they're not going to be a production from, a movie production. They're just going to be kind of edited okay enough. So the thing though that I struggle, Jeffrey and I were talking about this a little bit today, is how much is too much? do you all think? Like
Oh,
how much videos are too much? Like do
oh,
you daily videos? Is that too much? 3 times a week? Because some content creators will just do one video a week
a week.
and they do great. They do great with it. So it's like, do you think people get sick of seeing you every day?
I don't think it's a question of they're sick of seeing you every day, but it becomes familiar. You become too familiar, too reliable. There's no, hey, look, okay, or can we equate it to personal relationships then? I know a lot of you out there are in a relationship. You've been in a relationship, a lot of you, for a number of years. There's nothing wrong with being comfortable with somebody. That's a beautiful thing. But at the end of the day, we're on YouTube. And I
Right.
think that sometimes, we've talked about this too before,
I
is I
know.
almost wonder if like you avail yourself too much, like you're too, where's my excitement? I want a little, you know, back and forth here. I want a little tease in a good way,
Yeah.
right? Not in a kind of way, but in a good way, a fun way, something that's exciting, repetitive. It becomes repetitive. You're right. There you go, Scott. Exactly. If you're doing different stuff, if
Yeah.
one day it's this, the next day it's that, and then there's that excitement again. There's got to be some level of excitement, but if we're always doing the same thing over and over and over, I've actually thought about reducing my number of videos to two.
Well, and that's I I've done vlog videos and where I seem to think that they're the stupidest thing ever and like nobody cares, but they tend to do pretty well. So it's like maybe, because I'm really trying to not like my channel is reselling obviously and it's going to continue to be that, but I need to do something where I'm not acquiring all of these things. Yeah, or predictable. Yeah.
God, there's
But see,
nothing worse.
I feel like mine are predictable.
Well, I mean, Cindy, Tiger, what do you guys think? I mean, you guys are subscribed to other people, and that's the thing. I mean, Tiger, have you gotten to the point now where you don't want to be on YouTube because it's work?
No,
Yeah.
but I also don't edit, so that's the part that I don't have yet. But I also need to. But no, I'm horrible with all these algorithms and all that because I just do when I have video, I don't want to wait because I'm all giddy. It's like, oh, I want to get this out now. I want them to see this
Yeah.
now, and then I put out, and and then all of a sudden I go a couple of weeks without filming anything, and then like when I was traveling, I couldn't film everything a lot. So I try to do some haul videos and stuff, but it's really the whole concept of having a regular time slot for videos escapes me. Plus, we
Yeah.
all watch it at different times anyways. So I really don't, I don't go by do I want any particular person to put out a video a day, because if I'm not able to watch it, I won't watch it. And again, it depends on the whole clickbait bait thing. Do I fall for that sometimes? And I refuse to even think up those things because I can't. My headlines are always the same pretty much, but it's just the way people choose, pick and choose what they want to watch. And if you don't want to watch just another Goodwill shopping video, then you watch someone else's video. And I don't blame anyone for not watching my videos or for watching someone else's videos, because I believe we all gotta do what works for us at the time frame that works for us. And I'm not sitting there at YouTube every day all day long waiting for the notification, oh, there's a new video, I gotta see this now.
Yeah.
I don't. I watch it when I have time, and I watch it usually in the evenings. I watch some videos. And again, I mean, I have my preferred YouTubers, but sometimes I switch it up too, because I
Yeah, I
start
do
with
too.
traveling. I was going to have a traveling channel. I've watched all these traveling YouTubers, and
Me
then I
too.
switched over to the vintage. So,
I do the same thing, Tiger. Oh, and today I spent the day watching the Great British Baking Show.
There we
That's
go.
what
I
I
love
watched
that.
today.
I love that show.
Show. I love that show. But yeah, I don't think, and I want to say too, I mean, of course we want you to watch our videos, watch all of them, but don't feel bad if you can't. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And don't feel bad if you can't come to a live sale. Don't feel bad if you can't do a lot of things because no one's keeping score. I'm not keeping score. Michael's not keeping score. No one's keeping score. I'm not saying, oh, well, they weren't at my sale, but they were at so-and-so's sale. No.
Oh, then you haven't seen my little black book.
Oh, that's why I got a whole notebook.
But I've heard about that. But I have heard that some people have gotten upset at others because they're like, well, you go to their sales, but you don't come to my sale. And it's like, I'm not playing that game. That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
I don't know. That's a really interesting thing to talk about. And I think that I was seeing a lot of really good, interesting comments down below in the concept of, and I think that's something that you do struggle with is because you don't want to feel like you're letting people down by not giving them what you've established yourself as giving them. But yet at the same time, it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know.
For me as a watcher, I can't keep up. I mean, I have a lot of favorites, and I don't just watch vintage either. I have a lot of craft people I watch too, and I just can't anymore keep up with all of it. I mean, a lot of people are doing more videos, and I start to feel bad that I can't, but I just can't with my own life. And what I need to do, I can't.
But don't ever feel bad about that. Don't ever.
I do though, Misty.
But don't. Seriously, don't ever feel bad about that. I mean, if you can't watch a video of somebody's, and just, even if you didn't even watch the video, go into the comment and say,
I do that.
Yeah,
I do that.
Nobody has to know that you didn't watch the video, but if you at least go in and comment and give it a thumbs up and show your support that way.
I have done that
too. Yeah. Oh, I've done that.
100%.
I think that's fine. All in the Attic says teaching videos. Teaching videos stress me out, but I think I'm going to try.
You're a teacher.
Well, I know, but they stress me out because people can be so critical on them. I think that's what I mean. Because what works for me doesn't necessarily work for Michael, isn't necessarily going to work for Tiger. It's not going to necessarily work for you. And it's, I don't know. I mean, just, I want to be able to tell people what I do works for me, but gosh, you can get eaten alive in the comments. You just really can. And kind of depending on like where my mental state is, do I really want to mess with that right now? This time of year, I'm stressed out, but I'm really wanting to do shipping videos, and I've toyed around with the idea of doing memberships, and one of the tiers of that membership would be like for a half an hour or for 45 minutes, I'll go live while I'm shipping. So we can do a live shipping, and we can kind of get into this is what I do. But then I sit and think about, where's the camera going to be? And like, Jeffrey and I talked about this, if we could just have a camera, just follow us around. We don't have to move tripods. Someone follow me around with a camera.
No way, Jose.
There you go.
It would make my life so much easier.
I would never. I have zero interest in doing a vlog or any of zero. No, that's not, no.
They're kind of fun though, Michael.
No.
The first one you do, you'll be like me. Who the hell wants to watch this? I'm the boringest dang person in this world.
Oh, I know I'm not boring. Trust me with that. It ain't got nothing to do with that. It ain't got nothing to do with me being. I am not a boring person.
He's definitely not boring.
I am not born. But that's the thing, because somebody said earlier, and I do apologize, I was going to highlight it. But the question was, do you find that people get too personal? And that is my thing with it, is once you
Yeah.
start putting your personal self out there, oh, there's no boundary anymore. No. No.
We all need someone in our lives that looks at us like Tiger's dog looks at him.
Aw.
Moses.
Mhm.
Ja, du bist der Star.
Oh my
Well,
Piece of
you know
stable
what?
show. What can we do?
Honey, I will share business with you all day, every day. I really, truly will. But no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, yeah.
That is true, Lisa. I said no and no. Forget it. They beat me.
Yeah, I said that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, Pam. That's
What did
mhm.
you say?
She has unsubscribed from Boohoo channel. She likes to have fun, not hear
Oh,
someone else's problems. Yeah. I don't want trust me, I don't want to bring my problems on to anybody else.
Nein, jetzt nicht.
can we talk about that? Do you guys
Oh
have?
wait, I took it off. I took it off, Michael. Where'd it go? Brenda.
Oh,
Was that it?
yes.
Yeah.
That's right. The vintage Christmas. Do you guys have? I'm interested to know this. I know for a fact Mother Tuckers doesn't, but do you or did Tiger? Did your malls have rules on holiday merchandise? In other words,
Hmm.
like we don't want because are we sitting down, folks? There are antique malls that do not want you to have Christmas out in July or in August, and they don't want the holiday stuff out all year round. Have you guys experienced that or no?
I
Thankfully.
haven't. I haven't experienced that.
Okay. Because I'm just saying, like, why are we not seeing more holiday stuff year round? Like, where is
Yeah.
I'm, I'm there for it. I'm there for it. If I walk into a booth and they've got Christmas in the middle of June, oh, it's on.
Oh yeah.
It's on.
Well,
Hmm.
and I think that that's important too, to if you're thinking about setting up at an antique booth, is to ask those sorts of questions beforehand. That way you're not surprised, when it's when it's, July and you're bringing in some Christmas things and the antique mall booth owners are going to be like, you can't put that up.
What are you doing?
July.
Where, where do you think? Yeah, thank you, Aaron.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Do they have like?
Every day.
Do they do a what do you call it? Like a year? Like it has to be vintage or because the
Oh,
Rust and Shine has like artisan stuff also, but so far they say like, well, if it's from 2000 you can't sell it?
No,
Technically
they
no.
don't say. They they've never. I don't know if I have anything from 2000, but they're not real picky about
Okay.
a lot of things.
our mall, Pete says that our mall does limit us to 1979 or older. And see, if I were an antique mall owner, that would be my rule. That would be my probably my only rule. Because you know, there's a difference between having according to like live sales, okay? Just like YouTube live sales, between having a vintage sale and a garage sale. There is a difference. There's a big difference there. So I think that as an antique mall owner, it would be very, very difficult if people were constantly bringing in like modern farmhouse stuff and that sort of thing. If you were trying to market yourself as a vintage marketplace, that would
Well,
be
Rust and
hard.
Shine markets itself as unique shops. And so there are a variety of, I mean, they have farmhouse booths. At the other end of the floor that I'm on, there's a couple farmhouse type booths.
Mhm.
But, and then downstairs, as Michael knows, it's all kinds of artisan wares from local artists and different things. And then you go through, there's a big sign that says antiques. And then you go in that, and there, that starts the antique part of the mall. And then upstairs is a mix too. So it works.
Yeah, one of the malls I was in, they required you to be mid-century modern or older, but they weren't enforcing it, and they knew that sometimes you had newer stuff, and they were okay with it as long as it was not, everything, or it was not over getting out of hand. But the other one I was in, they had like, and I don't know what the time frame would be, probably 90s. Those little Japanese comic figures, those
Oh
Toku
yeah.
Pop, whatever they are. There were like at least two booths that had nothing but. And then there were other booths who had some of it, and that kind of stuff. I just don't like to see an antique mall. But they also were not very, very consistent about enforcing rules. They also told me you're not allowed to have any plastic shelving in your booth. And then I've seen lots of plastic shelving in some of these booths, and I was asking him, it's like, what's up with that?
Well,
And he was like, well, just kind of like, they have people running around through that mall all day long, every day. Why don't they look out for those things?
well,
Hey,
I
I'm a stickler for rules. You give me a rule, I will enforce it. It has to be enforced. Do not walk by there and forget to tell them, oh, that shelf cannot be here.
Uh-oh.
Well, I went into that vendor mall and I filmed it. It was a video, but it was a booth full of panties.
What?
And not they weren't all new panties. They were just
What?
Michael, I sent you a video of it. I was like, Michael, it's all
No,
panties.
you didn't. No, you
Maybe
did
it was
not.
Jeffrey. Maybe I sent it to Jeffrey. It's all panties. All in this video. In this booth.
Mm, no.
They got them from the Goodwill bins, I bet. Probably.
Oh,
Ew.
No.
Oh, I love watching Michael's face when I say things like that.
That's
Lucinda's like, excuse me?
pretty much. There is no excuse, Lucinda. There is no excuse. No.
Oh gosh.
I would never. I don't know, you guys. Like, I kind of like, I'm on the fence with it because here's the deal. Like, if I walk into a place and they've got like new stuff, like, I'm like, but then if if the vintage is good, then I'm just like, well, like, I don't know. I'm kind of back and forth on that one.
Well, but sometimes the places that will have like the more modern things, if you look around, they don't think that maybe they would have a left in Miss Priss. And they're like, this old thing, and they don't see the value in it. So sometimes when you go into booths like that, you can find things because they don't think that it's anything, because it doesn't interest them and they have not researched it. So
Yes. I
pandemic panties.
I do. I've always like yeah, always if I go into a Goodwill, if I go into an organization, I don't. If I go into a small business, I always ask.
Mm-hmm. I do too. It just makes me feel less weird when I'm in there.
Right.
And I always say I'm very pro small business. I'm here to get you noticed, and I'm not gonna say anything disparaging. It's gonna be like for you. And they're like, oh yeah, that's great.
You just won't see the video then.
No, I give them my card and it has where they can find me so they can, and I usually say it'll probably be up in about a week or so. Let them know.
Okay, let me ask you this question then. Let's put Misty on the spot. This literally just popped into my head.
Oh,
Has there
Lord.
ever been a place where you fully intended to film and you had asked permission and you gave them your card and then you were like, there is no way I'm publishing this video. You don't have to explain why. You don't have to say why. But has there ever been that instance where you went into really?
No.
Okay.
No. Now, there have been times that, well, the only time that that's happened is if I go into Goodwill, when I was filming in Goodwill, if I was going into Goodwill and I'm walking around and I'm like, I filmed an intro and everything, and I'm walking around like, I'm done. I'm not filming in here today. Done. I put my phone away. I'm done. I'm not doing it because it's just not worth my time. And the music's too loud and I don't want to mess. I don't do voiceover, so I just don't want to mess with it. So that's the only time that I'm like, I have the intention that I was going to film and I walk in and I look around for a few minutes and I'm like, nope, I'm done. Not doing it.
It's only happened to me once. I've done it once, and I'm like, oh, And that was I had been there before, and I thought it was going to be much better. But like in the time that I had been there initially to that, because I didn't have a YouTube channel, I was like, I'm going to film here, and then I was like, this is not what I remember it being.
Mm-hmm.
I just like snuck out because I was like,
You snuck out.
I
was
was
never
never
here.
No.
I was never here.
That wasn't me. No, I didn't know. No.
Oh, yes, Vinny, that weird place where we filmed in there though, Vinny. We filmed. That was the weirdest place though. Weird. They were all like
Where they're locked up, all the
yes.
locks. I remember that.
We felt so uncomfortable too. It was
Those
the
chain
weirdest
links.
thing.
See,
Yeah.
that's the kind.
We were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Have I? Yes, as a matter of fact. Mhm.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I love that. That's like the thing that I love the most.
Yeah.
Knowing
Agreed.
that I'm helping a small business get some business. Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yeah, Scott, the panty booth wasn't the weirdest place. Although I'm sure that place does sell panties in there somewhere in one of their cages.
You in the panties. Steph sells stuff by the seashore. Says I found my vintage pink Murano doves for cheap in one of those places filled with the new stuff. Exactly. You just never know. You do never know. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, guys. Well, we're very close to our 10 o'clock hour.
Wow.
Yes.
It went by so fast.
It does. So, Cindy, Misty's put the offer out there. I'm just saying, I put the offer out there too. So,
you can think about it.
All the people in the chat, they would love to see you. They would love to see more of you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have to think about it.
Okay. Well, you guys, again, remember, Cindy currently is only on Instagram and Etsy, both of which are linked down below for you. Tiger, what can we expect a live sale coming from you anytime soon?
Actually, yeah, we'll have one on Friday, which would be 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern.
Friday.
8 o'clock Pacific time. And I'll be teaming up with Vintage and Vino and with Chrissy's Corner Store.
Oh,
yay! So it'll be the three of us from Arizona. An Arizona party on Black Friday on my channel.
Yay. And I'll be shipping on Friday, so I will have it on while I ship.
Michael's going to be working a 13-hour shift on Friday.
Yep. Yep.
And you can listen to us while you ship.
Absolutely. I will be there.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
So, Misty, what do you have coming up this week?
Well, tomorrow, Michael and I are having a sale on my channel at 1 o'clock. It's going to be good. I'm selling some really, really good. Michael's selling that little girl behind him. That's Holt Howard, right?
No, this is Lipper and Mon.
Oh, they look a lot alike.
You guys, this is one of those luxury items, yes, that I did spend up for, but The fact that I can bring her to you guys, what? Yes. She's not Christmas,
She's
but we can
fabulous.
put a bottle brush tree in her, as Misty would say.
You put Chevrolet in there.
Why
I'll put
not?
a bottle brush tree in everything. That's my
Mhm.
challenge to you. Go get you some bottle brush trees. Walk around your house and be like, what kind of good bottle? I'll put it will make your heart so happy. It will. It will make your heart so happy.
Did you see the reel that I posted? Well, I posted it right before we went live. I used bottle brush tree. I even took photos using bottle brush trees.
It's a fun thing to do. It's
It
a fun
is.
thing to do. So yeah, we're having a light sale tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And then I'm having a sale on Wednesday at 1 o'clock with Miss Pamela Blanchard.
What?
Give me
Um,
Pamela.
But I won't be shipping until Friday. So because I'm not shipping on Thanksgiving, I have to do the other work. Which again, Thanksgiving is the worst holiday for a mom and a wife because we have to cook and clean again after it's all done.
I don't clean,
Mhm.
I just cook.
Ugh, just everything. We
I'm
don't need, at least at Christmas you get a present or two, and you got to do it all over again. Thanksgiving you just have to cook and clean.
I'm just putting up the Christmas lights on
Let me
Thanksgiving.
tell you too, guys, if you've not gone to the store to get your Halloween, Thanksgiving things that you need, go tomorrow because I went tonight and it was crazy. So you all better get out there and get your food that you need because it is gonna sell out.
Mm-hmm. Do it out.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, if we
Helen,
are.
you're not making anything? Helen, surely you're gonna make something. You're the maker.
Oh my word.
I love
Um,
it.
so if we aren't, for whatever reason, not able to catch any of you guys later this week before Thursday, please make sure that you do have a very happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We all hope that you're able to spend time with your loved ones and enjoy the day, rest, relax, and eat a lot of really good food.
Yeah. Spend time with
Mhm.
your family. Turn your phones off. Just be present in the moment with your family. That's including me because I need to do that.
Yes, you do. Mhm.
Yes.
And you need to teach your family to help you with the cleanup.
They
You
do.
cook, they eat, they need to help clean
They
up.
do.
That's right.
They do. And everyone say a prayer for Michael on Black Friday.
Yes.
Oh God,
Father,
God.
Son, House of Gucci.
Been
Mhm.
there, done that. And thank you everyone who subscribed to my channel during this show. Thank you all very much.
Yeah, wait, before we leave, someone check to see Tiger's at 717.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yay. Tiger, I'll be in touch with you too. We'll get another sale scheduled.
Sounds good.
All right. So I
All right,
guess
guys. Well, thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Tiger, for
Thank
joining
you.
us tonight. We do appreciate it. Misty Pate, it's always a pleasure.
Mwah.
Thank you for having us.
Oh,
Thank you.
our pleasure. Our pleasure.
Thank you, ladies. You are lovely. We love seeing you in our sales when you can. You never feel like you need to. Don't feel bad if you can't.
And gentlemen down in the chat. It's not
Yes.
all ladies. There's some
Right.
guys down there.
Yes, and then you got all you guys down in the chat as well. All
Yeah.
you peoples.
We appreciate you guys so very much. I mean, without you guys, we would not be able to be up here doing any of this. So
Right.
tremendously thankful for you guys, truly.
Yep. Yep.
All right, guys. Well, everybody have a good night and a happy Thanksgiving if we don't catch it. And remember, Misty and I will be back tomorrow on Misty's channel over there. Thrifter Junker, Vintage Hunter, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. We've got some good goods for you. So we hope to see you there. Maybe another light up wreath even.
Oh.
I got to get a wreath.
And a light up Santa head.
What?
I'm selling a light up Santa head.
We have been doing really good with the Christmas this year.
it's just Christmas is great.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
It's great.
I love it so much. In fact, I'm not taking my Christmas decorations down in a
Just
cabinet.
leave it up all year.
I'm leaving it up.
That's your happy place now.
It is.
Hmm.
Yep. It'll save me time next year when it's Christmas time again. It'll
There
already
you
be
go.
done.
It's done. It's done. All right, guys. Y'all have a good night, and we will see y'all soon. Good
Bye.
night.
Night.
Bye.